Let's talk about cartoon couples, the bad ones. Characters who suffer from a toxic relationship and, for some reason, are still together. You know the ones.
You're a stupid man! A stupid man!
Ow! You're hurting me! Stop it! Stop it, Lois!
No! I'm so sick of your crap! Why do you always do these stupid things?
Just like my top 10 best cartoon couples, this list will not include animated movies or anime. We are just going to focus on TV shows. I figured that would make things more interesting, since there are plenty of awful couples to pick from in movies. This is the top 10 worst cartoon couples. Number 10. Drew and Charlotte Pickles from Rugrats. When I look back on Rugrats, I see a show with a lot of subtle adult humor. Jokes that I was completely oblivious to.
Lonely space vixen. That's for after you go to bed.
That's a freaking porno joke in a kid's show about babies. But one of the more quiet but present adult themes in the show are the relationships of the parents. You got Stu and Dee Dee, one a part-time school teacher and the other an unsuccessful inventor. Two jobs that barely provide enough for their family. Betty and Howard DeVille, a loud but passionate feminist, and a cowardly and obedient stay-at-home dad. But the relationship that stands out to me the most is Drew and Charlotte Pickles. Even when I was a kid, I thought, why are these people together? They rarely talk as a couple, and they aren't doing a good job parenting their child. Charlotte is a businesswoman and is always on her phone. She is so consumed by her job that she rarely has time for her kid and especially her husband. Even though Stu and Dee Dee aren't wealthy people, you can tell that they really love each other. But I don't see that with Drew and Charlotte. What I see is an eventual divorce after Angelica goes to college. Number 9. Eustace and Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. This elderly couple, who live in the middle of nowhere, suffer from an onslaught of supernatural terrors on a daily basis. But you want to know what's even more scary? Their marriage. Eustace is a cruel, hateful, and even violent husband. I mean, the guy even attacked his wife. That's straight up physical abuse. Muriel, on the other hand, is kind, patient, and a loving woman. And I have no idea why she married him. No reason at all. Like, there's this one moment in the show where they show their love for each other, but outside of that, it's just Eustace being mean to both her and Courage. This makes for wonderful karma payback though. Number 8. Sadie and Lars from Steven Universe. When I look back on my life, I realize how dumb high school relationships were. I spent many days and nights worrying about some random girl who means nothing to me now. Now, don't get me wrong. It's absolutely fine to date and get experience, but don't let it control your life. Oh, look! It's Sadie and Lars. Sadie is a sweet and generous girl. She goes out of her way to show affection and kindness to one of the biggest douchebags in the show, Lars, a guy who takes advantage of Sadie. They both obviously have something going on, but it doesn't really make sense. Time and time again, Lars will straight up ditch and cast out Sadie so he can look cool in front of his friends. Yeah, I guess we can call them that. And Sadie, for some reason, kind of puts up with it. And I don't know why.
After all I do for you, you lie to me so you can sneak off with some other girl?
There are only a handful of times where Lars has been kind to Sadie, but they are few and far between, and they don't justify the verbal and mental abuse that Sadie goes through. It's very likely that this is part of a bigger story, and that Lars will have some kind of redemption arc. But for now, he is a massive jerk, and Sadie is dumb for liking him. Number 7. Bob and Miriam Pataki from Hey Arnold. Oh my god. Talk about dysfunctional. Hey Arnold was very direct when it came to Helga's family. They ignored her. They mentally abused her. They praised her older sister all of the time and made Helga feel like she didn't matter. All of these things can warp a child's mind. But this isn't about the worst parents. We are talking about the worst couples, and Bob and Miriam are pretty bad. Bob is loud, obnoxious, and will verbally harass his wife and kid. He is all about being the biggest and the best, and that's why he can't shut up about his beeper empire.
I'm Big Bob Pataki, the Beeper King. Remember, we'll beat any advertised price, unless it's lower. Come on down to our Beeper Emporium this Saturday for our annual spelling bee sale. If my daughter Helga doesn't win the contest, you get your first beeper free. And remember,
Big Bob's Beepers!
Miriam, on the other hand, is a disorganized and depressed drunk, and that is the truth. She has all of the behaviors of someone who suffers from being an alcoholic. She carries around her blender. She is normally seen passed out around the house, and she forgets about her family all of the time. Despite their obvious problems, these two rarely talk and prefer hiding their issues. Bob doesn't care that Miriam suffers from depression and alcohol, and Miriam doesn't seem to care that Bob has anger problems. They just deal with it. And that's pretty sad. Number 6, Plankton and Karen from SpongeBob. Karen, smart, beautiful, really patient. Plankton, obsessed, mean, and most likely clinically insane.
goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
Just because Plankton built his computer wife doesn't mean that they are a good couple. Time and time again, we see Karen rolling her eyes and putting up with Plankton's evil plans. Plans that, more often than not, fail. Plankton calls Karen his wife, but he rarely does anything for her. Instead, he's just focused on getting that secret formula. There was even an episode where Karen left Plankton.
Anyway, you're a grown single-celled organism and allowed to make your own syntax errors. Nice knowing you, Karen.
Oh, Karen, you should have run when you had the chance. Number 5, Goku and Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball. Yeah, I know that this is an anime, but come on. Come on! I mean, Goku has this coming. We all know that he is a bad dad, but he's also a bad husband. The guy doesn't even know what a kiss is.
トランクスよく口と口くっつけんな
貴様したことないのか
当たり前だろ
結婚しているじゃないか
なんか関係あんのかそれが
もういい
もういいってどういうことだよ
That's right. This man, who has 2 kids, has never kissed his wife. I used to think that Chi-Chi was an angry jerk, but after learning this, I completely understand why she is always so upset at Goku. She does his laundry. He runs away. She gets pregnant. He runs away. She has to raise their son. He runs away. The only time he doesn't run is when she makes dinner or when they're having sex. Oh, but no kissing, because that would be weird. Goku might be one of the greatest warriors of all time, but he stinks as a dad and especially as a husband. Thank God for Piccolo for being Gohan's responsible guardian.
So you figured out how to dodge my punches and kicks. Now try this!
I use that term loosely. Number 4, Dale and Nancy from King of the Hill. What's there to say? Dale, a guy who believes every conspiracy theory, has no clue that his wife is cheating on him. Like, there are moments where he catches them red-handed and still doesn't understand what's going on. And Nancy? Shame on her for having an affair on her husband for years. Yeah, she eventually stops cheating on Dale, and the two have some sort of normal marriage, but that was after years of lying to him. It was so bad that when people discovered she was sleeping with Dale, everyone was shocked. That's how bad their relationship was. They never should have been a couple, and it only shows how blind they truly are.
Pocket sand.
Number 3, Peter and Lois from Family Guy. So I have been rewatching this show on Netflix, and wow, it has really gone downhill. There was a time when I enjoyed Family Guy for its goofy jokes and silly antics, but now it's just stupid shock humor, cripple jokes, rape jokes, just nasty stuff in general. And the worst part? The show tries to make you empathize with the characters at the end, as if you should forgive them for being massive jerks. Peter cheats on Lois. Lois cheats on Peter with a minor, and they are physically and verbally abusive to each other on an episodic basis. And we are supposed to believe that they love each other just because the music becomes heartfelt? And Lois and Peter say that they love each other?
You know, when I heard your voice on that phone, I felt something. It was like an instinct, you know? Both my heart and my wiener somehow knew you were my soulmate.
Well, I suppose you did fall for me pretty hard.
Don't you see, Lois? I fell in love with you all over again.
Bullshit! They are terrible people, terrible to each other, and have terrible reasons of why they should stay together. Number 2. Jerry and Beth from Rick and Morty. Many of the options on this list have couples who obviously suffer from marriage problems. But Beth and Jerry's marriage is so terrible that it serves as a reoccurring plot device in the show. Time and time again, these two are yelling and screaming at each other, cutting down each other, and blaming their spouse for their miserable life. We learn that Jerry knocked up Beth in high school, considered abortion as an option, revealed this information to said child, and constantly fight and fight and fight and fight. I mean, there's even this alien marriage counselor who says that their relationship defies logic and should not exist. Honestly, they should just divorce and cut their losses while they can.
Jerry's going to spend some time divorced.
Oh, well, there you go. And number 1. My choice for the worst cartoon couple is Harley Quinn and the Joker. I realize that this is a weird choice since it's not strictly a cartoon, but in my defense, it did start in the cartoons. And man, is it bad.
You're just in time to see the...
A lot of the options on this list are dysfunctional. They are verbally abusive, physically abusive, mentally abusive, but every single one of these things can be found in Joker's and Harley's relationship. Harley herself is clearly mentally unstable and needs help. She doesn't value herself, and she lets the Joker use her as a tool. And the Joker? Like, what's there to say? He's one of the most evil villains of all time. What makes this option stand out, though, is how most people view it. It's not hard to see that Peter and Lois have a bad relationship, or that Nancy and Dale aren't meant for each other. But for Harley and the Joker, they praise it. I actively see people saying that they desire or currently have a relationship that's similar to Joker and Harley's. That's not a good thing. They are criminals. One who is fine with being abused, and the other who has no problem with the abusing. It's a terrible example of what people should want, but for some reason, they can't see that. Now, that's not Joker or Harley's fault. People are just dumb. But when it comes to bad relationships, these two take the pudding cake.
If you really want to make me happy, find the plagiarist who's been stealing my act.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you all know that I recently updated my Patreon rewards. We got early video access, we got Google Hangouts, we got personal letters of art that you request. Want me to draw One Punch Man? You got it. Also, I want to give a shout out to my top tier sponsors, Chad Butler, Ifs Fun, and Screenflare. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.